Hey everybody, it's Alan Brochstein from Houston, Texas. I run 420 Investor, which is transitioning from Benzinga to Seeking Alpha, where I'm publishing a lot now and where I have a long history of publishing. And I run New Cannabis Ventures, and this is the weekly cannabis review. And this was not a good week. Not that I'm entirely surprised. If you've been listening to me, I was worried about a lot of things. Or you don't have to just listen, you can read. We've shared this publicly, but the volumes remain very low. So people are just waiting, I think, and hopefully they come into the market. I'm very bullish longer term, and I had a lot of cash in my model portfolios, which we'll talk about momentarily, and I'm fully invested now. I'm not much of a market timer when it comes to cannabis stocks. This week, I was big on one thing. Canada reported very strong sales in December. And of course, a lot of that's seasonal, and I get that. They were up 14% from November. That's a huge number. But from a year ago, the growth has picked up a little bit. It was 20%. That's faster than Florida in terms of the patient growth. Florida's only growing 15% per year now, a record low. So that was the big news for this week. It didn't seem to help the Canadian stocks, not that it should necessarily. I write a lot, and I've been writing again at Seeking Alpha pretty much once a week. And this week I wrote a piece that I thought was pretty clever. I haven't seen anybody do a good job on this, but I wrote, the title was A Close Look at 13 Cannabis ETFs. I could have titled it, Wow, the Cannabis ETFs Suck, but I don't think that would have opened, the people would have opened that. But that was my conclusion. I don't think I said sucked, but they're not good. And I've been publicly critical of MSOS. I tried to be careful because I know a lot of people like it and they have money in it, and I don't want it to go down. I don't even think it will go down. But I continue to have the concerns I've been expressing on MSOS. You should understand that I am a straight shooter, and I just tell the world what I see, and I try to educate. That's all I'm doing. And I remain kind of concerned about MSOS being 77.5% in top 5 MSOs. I think that's stupid. This week there was my 30 member list of focus list names. There were 5 that had news. This one was really big, and the world didn't understand it, I don't think. But Canopy Growth did a really stupid financing, in my opinion. A lot of people liked that it was only 5%, but they missed that it's toxic convertible note. The number of shares is capped, but it's a lot more. The price would be in the $1 and change. I don't want to say $1 because I didn't calculate exactly, but the number of shares that they could issue to settle this convertible note would be a lot, near 100 million shares. And I wasn't sure if that was for the 100 or the full 150. So they announced 100 million of this convertible note, and it's not at a fixed price. That reminds me, what's that like? Like the stupid penny stocks when I started covering the space 10 years ago. And they don't even do those anymore. It's so bad. But that's what Canopy did. Green Lane boosted its balance sheet again, and they continue to put themselves in a position to excel in the future. And we interviewed the CEO he's a client of ours, or they are a client of ours, at New Cannabis Ventures this week. And I linked in the piece that I put in this summary. You can click on that and find a link to that Green Lane CEO article. But the company sold an employee retention credit, and they used all of that and then some to pay down some of their short-term debt. So I like Green Lane, and I'm not saying that because they're our client, but they are our client. I'm disclosing that. Spring Big had some silly news, I think. They debuted a new logo and added 2 marketing functions. Woo! So I don't know that I'm going to keep covering Spring Big. I thought the stock was really cheap, and I can't believe how low it got. And it has rallied a lot, but their big game plan involves mergers and acquisitions, and their stock is too low. And I don't want to buy the stock because I think it's going to go up, because they're going to have it go up to do the M&A, and maybe that's what happens. I'd rather wait until the stock starts to go up and I feel like the numbers are good. They've been cutting back. But anyway, that's Spring Big. Tilray, they've been having a problem getting shareholders to vote on something. And so their solution, they issued some preferred stock with big voting rights, so they'll get it done. And I think that's kind of lame. I'm not a fan of Tilray. And Verano opened their 65th Florida medical cannabis dispensary. They opened up another one earlier this month, and they opened up a Pennsylvania one too. And that was it. Let me talk about the market performance now. And let's see if I can get my thing to work. There we go. This week, the global cannabis stock index fell 4.8%. That was a lot worse than the S&P 500, which was down 2.7%. The good news is year to date, the index is up 3.8%, and that's a little bit ahead of the S&P 500. I don't think that really matters, by the way, but we are still up year to date. The volumes are really low. And then I can tell you that we are down in 9.8%, I think, is the number in February. So we went up a lot in January, and I got negative and had a lot of cash in my model portfolios. And now I'm fully invested. Let's talk about those model portfolios. I have 2. One's called Beat the Global Cannabis Stock Index, and one's called Beat the American Cannabis Operators Index. You get that? You get what I'm trying to do? So with that last one, Beat the American Cannabis Operators Index, I'm also trying to beat MSOS. So let's talk about Beat the Global Cannabis Stock Index model portfolio. It's a lot of words. I call it Beat GCSI. And it did not have a good week. It was down 7%. And in this article that I use to, that I link to in the summary of this video, I list all the names, and I can just tell you, I really like CEA Industries. It's super cheap, and I get it. It's super small, and I've had a huge position, and it is up. And I did reduce it this week. It's not in the Global Cannabis Stock Index. I still have a big position, but you can see what I bought if you read that. And then another one I reduced was Tilt Holdings, and I had added to it recently after they announced the IIPR sale leaseback had finally closed. That thing it took a long time, and I was really excited about that, and I added, but this week I cut it, and I bought Trueleaf, actually, which I had sold near $7, and I bought Trueleaf near the low this week. And so that model portfolio, while it was down 7% this week, it's up 13% year to date. 13%. That's way ahead of the index. I am doing better than the index, which is up 3.8%. And the other model portfolio, I'm not doing as well. I told you I'm trying to beat the American Cannabis Operators Index, and I'm not. I'm up. This week it was down 9.1%. I had one stock that got smashed. It's not in the index either. And the index lost 6.2%. So I lost to the index this week because of that one stock. And but I even lost the MSOS this week. It was down 7.3%. So not a good week for Alan Brochstein's model portfolio. Year to date, I'm up 2.4%. That's behind the index. But MSOS is down 5.2%. So I'm killing that. So half a victory. And I like to conclude these videos with the calendar. And guess what? It's about to get interesting. This week is the beginning of earnings season especially for the MSOs. And on Tuesday, it's a big day. Kronos Group reports. I like Kronos Group. It's down a lot year to date at a multiple year low, and they report Monday morning and have a call pre-market. IIPR, which is getting killed, new lows, new multi-year lows, but still above the March 20 low by more than 100%. They report pre-market, but host a call during trading hours, and then after the market closes, Avant Brands, which I don't really care about, a little Canadian LP, and Green Thumb Industries, which I've written about at Seeking Alpha. You can go back and read my article. I don't own any in my model portfolios. I like the company. I like the people that run it, but the relative valuation's a little high. They're the first big MSO to report after the close on Tuesday, the 28th. And they're called in. And then on Thursday, I don't really follow this one closely. I know a lot of people like it. Maramed reports and hosts a call pre-market. So that's it. Y'all have a great week. Take care.